Salutations, Queen of Shade here, coming to you for another chat. Today is a heavy day. My baby is being viewed, and family is making peace and saying goodbye, and the investigation is still ongoing. So we don't yet have closure on what happened to 31-year-old DeAndre Cottrell. Alabama native, but Atlanta transplant. With his passing, I felt the need to illuminate my community. I felt the need to tell you guys that there was always things going on behind the scenes. I've been alluding to ex-work, particularly ex-work, substances, alcohol, all kinds of things, because it is not easy trying to change your life, move to a different tax bracket, become financially stable and independently wealthy. And this goes for all of us, including me. I wouldn't be standing here if my family had their way. I wouldn't be standing here if my family jealously was able to persuade my grandmother that helping me on my road to stardom, fame, success, a career in entertainment wasn't worthwhile. But see, the great thing about my grandmother is I'm her firstborn grandson. She loved me. And many times love is what we need. There are a lot of us out here in the LGBTQIAP plus community, and somebody asked me what P stood for. It's pansexual. I'm not gonna say this, the S, pansexual. There are a lot of mothers that love us, and they know exactly what we're doing. They know exactly what's going on. Our mothers are not in the dark about what we have to do to make our money. Many of our mothers know. But what other option? What other option is there? The rich want to stay rich, and they want to keep the middle class and the poor in a position where they can serve them. And this goes particularly for Black and Latin men, straight and gay. You guys don't even know the nights I've spent on the phone with men, beautiful men, pouring their hearts out, crying about what was happening to them, what they signed up for but didn't realize the fine print would include all kinds of things. But through it all, the narrative was the same. They want a better life. They want to be able to help their families. They want to be able to make money and have it last. I remember one time I met this young man, and he was a gorgeous young man. He was modeling in New York City, and he was trying so hard. And I asked him, why do you go so hard? Why do you go so hard? And he said to me, you know why? Because my mother and my brothers are back home in my home state, and they don't have floors in the house. The floors are dirt. He said, so I'll grind, and I'll do whatever I have to do to be able to reach back and help them. You see, when you see us online, when you see these beautiful men online, you only see them. You don't see the families that they are going out into the world to try to help. And a lot of them are able to do the most unseeming things because they keep in their mind, I'm doing this for my family, I'm doing this for my mother, I'm doing this for my brothers, I'm doing this for the people I love. And that's a lot of us, even me. I stay in front of this camera, I release music, I do all that I do for my family. And I'm not talking about the family that doesn't support me. I'm talking about the ones that love me. I only have two. in my real immediate family and not my chosen family, my grandmother and my firstborn nephew. Those are the two that, despite whatever came, stayed with me, helped me, protected me, made sure I ate. Because one thing about me is doing this work, I don't like to eat. I like to focus on the work, and then I'll eat when it's done. However, this work is ongoing. So my nephew and my grandmother stay on me. You need to eat something. You need to eat something. Even my therapist. My therapist taught me that eating should not be a reward. It should be, in my mind, it should be a necessity. But in my mind, no matter how many times my family and my psychiatrist and my therapist have tried to reprogram it, eating for me is a luxury. It's how I see it. And you know, maybe that's a good thing, because it keeps me realizing that I have to work for every morsel that I put in my mouth. It keeps me, as I'm shaking, I'm really shaking because there's a lot going on. My baby, DeAndre Cottrell's investigation is still going on, even though the family is getting ready to put in the rest. His investigation is still going on. And I do believe that that investigation is going to yield a lot of things that we're going to be talking about for a very long time. And now this conversation just won't be for the gays. It won't be just for the community, because his untimely passing crossed over. If you know anything about entertainment, you know that term, crossover artist. Unfortunately, DeAndre's passing made him cross over. And now the world is following this case. So I just feel the need to talk about everything that we face as young black men. If it wasn't for my family, the two that I have out of a whole family, I probably wouldn't be standing here. This work of trying to create your future the way you want it to be is hard. And it's not just creating the future, because a lot of us get to $1. A lot of us get to $1. We do. It's the maintenance of the thing. You know, I have so many bills for my business. So many. And they come like clockwork. And there's been many times my grandmother has cursed me out because I didn't tell her that I went without something that I needed for my own personal self to be able to afford something for my business. I am one of those people that is like a serial entrepreneur. I place my work over everything in my life, because my work is not just about me becoming famous. I don't seek fame. I know that notoriety will happen from this. And it is happening. It has happened. If you've heard me sing, you know why notoriety is happening for me. But fame? When I was younger, I used to want fame because I wanted to prove to my family, in your face, you said I was nothing. You said I'd never be anything, and look what I became. I'm 41 years old now. That's not enough to carry me. It's not enough to keep me going. Now, I'm like, oh no, I need to be able to pay my bills, and I need to be able to last. Passive income is very important to me, as is the rest of my guys. You know, so many people want to pass judgment on my guys. Oh, they're only OF. I almost said it. They're OF stars. They're adult entertainers. They're escorts. You want to pass judgment. But you pass judgment not knowing what it's like to be a black young man. You don't even have to be gay. A black young man in a world where the supreme demographic of people, I say that because they're not, but they believe that they are, the supreme demographic of people feel like they own your black body, your black mind, your black soul. And we are kept in a certain position because of that. Some of my greatest men are behind bars because they had to figure out a way to provide. And what's worse is the world has allowed the black woman to chime in. Oh, these good for nothing men, these good for nothing men, these good for nothing men. Well, you don't know what's all going on behind the scenes. You don't know. Because you're telling him to be a man and man up. He's got to take care of himself somehow. I have so many men that are gay for pay. And I've asked them, how can you do it? And you know what they said? Because they're beautiful and they work out. They say it's just another rep in the gym. I literally had one of my babies say, 2 of them. It's just another rep. It's working out. I can do it. Working out is painful. It's not easy. It's hard. You're ripping the muscles. You're putting in the routine. You're picking up weight. It's hard. So they say, listen, it's just another weight to pick up. And I'm like, but you're giving your body both parts, front and back. Isn't that hard to do? No. Because you have to understand, these men are prepared to do whatever they need to do to survive. And that needs to be respected. Because some of y'all give up. Some of y'all give up. But we, the black man, gay and straight, we don't have the luxury of doing that. We can't give up. Because these bills are going to keep coming. Regardless. And we can't all ask our mamas, our daddies, for help. So many of us come from homes. They're not always broken, but they don't have the financial ability to be able to help us. Many of us went to school on scholarships, put ourselves to school on scholarships. Many of us are putting ourselves to school through OF and adult entertainment and escorting. Can't run home and ask for anything. When I went to college, I was on my own. I couldn't ask anyone to help me. And the one person in my family that I thought could help me wasn't my grandmother at that time. I was calling home because I needed money for my books. And I remember her giving the store, because there's a long line and everybody's looking at you like, what's the hold up? Very embarrassing situations. But she gives me a credit card number and it goes through and I walk away with my books. And then I find out that she committed identity theft and the credit card number that she's giving me is actually in my name. And I'm a college student and can't afford to pay it. And didn't find out. You know what I'm trying to tell you? If I had not have been medically withdrawn from college, I would have still had to leave. Medical withdrawal is different than drop out. But I know in my heart, I would have had to drop out. I had no support. No one was helping me. My grandmother was responsible for the rest of my siblings who were all younger than I was, and some of her children and my sister's children at that time, because she had babies at that time. No one could have helped me. I was buckling under the pressure, which caused my psychosis to go. I had no one. I stayed at school over the summers, working summer jobs, trying to stay. But there was no way I could do 4 years and then turn around and go to veterinary medical school like that. So what am I telling you? Many of my guys already know that college is a dead end for them because they can't afford to stay. Many of them are escorting their way through college. And the thing about escorting is it takes a toll on you. So to cope, here enters substance abuse. Here enters alcoholism. I can't just come out and say it, guys. I can't. I'm sorry. So you're going to have to read through the lines. But black men, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. We are. And we need people to just bring awareness. We need people to just be like, listen, what happened to Andre Cottrell should not have happened. Not to a young man with a bachelor's degree in marketing, a master's degree in public administration, and was currently a doctoral student. It just shouldn't have happened. Everybody's like, oh my God, he was so prestigious, he was so accomplished, he was so affluent. Yeah, but do you know what it took for him to get there? Do you know what he had to sacrifice to get there? Do you know what he had to do to get there? Do you really? Really? Many of us invent other ways of making money because we have to. And I'm gonna tell you something about this world. These old freaky ass men of all nationality, race, color, and creed, they pay. Let me tell you something. Women don't really look at OF. Most of the clientele that my OF stars, my boys that are OF stars have, are men. Women don't do that. Explicit content of that nature is a man's game. Now, some women do go see, but they don't stay. Not enough to have subscriptions every month be paid. And my babies work hard to keep those subscriptions and those subscribers happy and up. And I see it. I'll see my heterosexual men get on there and they're real masculine. They're not turning around. You can't see the cheeks. And then I watch as time goes on and their audience tells them what they want to see. Here enters the cheeks. And then here enters the X toys. And now the X toys are being probes to probe and to get used to taking a member, receiving a member. It's a slippery slope, but they have to keep their subscribers happy. They have to keep their subscribers happy because they're men. It's unfortunate that many of us, Black and Latin men, were born without privilege. Without privilege. We were born without privilege. I'll say that again because you need to hear this. We were born without privilege. And our bodies pay. You gotta understand something. Modeling's the same thing. Entertainment's the same thing. Music, all of it. Athletics, all of it. Still the same. I know so many men that played pro this and pro that. And then they left, whatever, the contract wasn't renewed. They played overseas, they played in the indoor league, they played all over. And then they still have to come out of there when they're a certain age and find a way to take care of themselves for the rest of their lives. Because they were young when they were playing ball. They were young when they were playing in the indoor league. They were young when they were athletics. You gotta understand that. I know NFL players that are now doing things to survive. And you know, I've always had this very understanding way about me. Because what do you think an entertainer is? I am basically doing the exact same thing. I may not be an escort, I may not be an OF star, I may not be an adult entertainer, but I am basically pimping my gifts out to those who will buy them, pay to see them, pay to listen. That's why I always said in all of my interviews with my guys, we are the same, the exact same. Just because you take your clothes off and I leave mine on, we're exactly the same. I never saw a differentiation, and I never will. We are all trying to make a fucking dollar. And my babies are beautiful from head to toe. And that is worth money. That's why I never condemn them. Straight, gay, indifferent. I never condemn them. Because we're doing the same thing. We're trying to get to $1 so we can take care of ourselves. Because see, making money up front, that's cool. But it's that long run. It's that back end, no pun intended, that needs to be covered. It's that back end. We need to have money on the back end so that we can live the lives that we have become accustomed to in our youth. Because see, it's great with these careers. Same thing with, singing and all. It's great while you're young and you can do it, but don't get old. And God, don't get an injury. Do not get an injury. Do not need an operation. Do not need something on your body to be fixed. We are all hustlers out here. My best girlfriend, shout out to you, Ciro. She laughs at me because since I could remember, I've been telling her the whole time I've been hustling, I'm a hustler. I'm a dope dealer. I've been saying that. And she asked me, well, what's your substance? What are you peddling? And I say, dopamine. Dopamine. That's what I sell to all of you. Dopamine. The chemical dopamine. Created in the brain. I don't have to artificially create it. Dopamine. Some of my boys will write me and say, how are you, queen? I say, it's hard out here for a pimp. When you're trying to get the money for the rent, hustle and flow, the song. But yeah, I don't look at myself any different than any of these OF stars, adult entertainers and escorts. I don't look at them any different. We're in the same damn boat. And it's time that you guys understood we're all in the same damn boat. Our families. Listen, there are a lot more of us that came from broken homes than came from solid homes. And you know what I understand and I realize? There are a lot of us that came from solid homes that still find their way into servicing the public. And when I say the public, I mean men. Men. You gotta understand that. Yeah. You gotta understand that. I'm putting you guys D right now. I'm letting you know what's going on. Because my babies cannot keep dropping like flies. They cannot. I can't take it. I can't handle it. If I told you half the things that I have been told when my babies call me, and when I say babies, I mean grown men, I mean over 21, and they call me and they tell me what they had to do with this client and that client and this and what he likes and all the kinks. And I'm like, baby. And they're like, oh, it's just another day at work. It's literally what they say to me. Oh, it's Queen, it's just another day at work. I'm like, what? And I am carrying all these secrets. Because I'd never tell you that. Who? Never tell you that. But I work hard. Do you understand why my freaking empire is so vast and there are so many other things that I do besides this? Let me tell you something. There have been many of my guys that have called me and I have given my own money so that they could eat. So that they could get something. Get a hotel room. I have done this. My grandmother can tell you. I have done this with my own money. I have done this. My heart is so broken. I'm tired of watching my boys do everything they possibly can to make it. And people that don't know them look at them and go, oh, well, they're escorts. They're adult film stars. They're OF boys. That's it. And it's like, with college degrees. With college degrees. They did it the right way. They did it the above board way. But stacked up against a supremacist or a Caucasian counterpart for the same job, we already know who's going to get that job. Not my boys. And then these companies want to work them to death. So much so that they don't even have time to form any kind of venture for themselves. The only reason I am standing here right now is because my grandmother shielded me and allowed me the time and opportunity to go to therapy and learn about myself and not have to run off to a 9-to-5 or make someone else wealthy off of my back. She rescued me from customer service and gave me an opportunity. She gave me years, y'all, 18 years to build who you see in front of you. Who you see and who you know. These videos tell you who I am, but they also tell you who I'm not. But I'll be damned if I ever let any of you judge my boys on their behavior, not knowing the full story. My therapist always says to me, people always look at the what. They never examine the why. Because they don't care. People are so freaking judgmental that they only look at the what. Well, he's an OnlyFans star. He's a porn star. They never look any further than that. Why? Because they feel superior? What did I tell you in my last video? Many of you that have jobs, you're escorting on the side. You've got an OF account where you don't show your face. You're on Twitter promoting that OF account. I've seen you. I know your bodies. I'm a model. I know your body types. I know your size and proportions. All of you. I know it's you. But yet and still you will, once again, like I said in my other video, you will do it under the cover of darkness. You will close the curtains. You will sit around the kitchen table in silence. You will go into the basement in secret and turn the lights off. But you get mad with us because we open the curtains. We turn the lights on and we let you know that we're in business for ourselves. A couple of my babies have made over $1 million from OF. That was hard to do, but that's because they grind. This is a grind, guys. Life is a grind, period. Life is a grind. And you need to understand that. And I will never shame one of my boys for using his body to get ahead. Hell, I'm using mine with my clothes on. This is mine. We are all working while we're young so that we have a future when we get older. But yet and still, oh, she's on the internet. She's not doing anything. She's not doing anything. Okay. Same thing with my boys. Okay. If you say so. Don't judge us. Please don't judge us. Because I am the type of person that when I discover that you did something that you judged somebody else for, I will never let you live it down. If I see that you are parading around and shooting your mouth off about things you don't understand simply because you see that he's an OF star, an adult entertainer, and an escort, and you're talking in your kitchen table talks about this, that, and the other, bitch, you are looking for a way out of corporate America. Let's start there, because I've spoken to many of you that are so judgmental and have all kinds of things to say. You yourself are looking for a way out of corporate America. Many of you that I've spoken to have a treatment for how you're going to do your OF. I'm not talking out of my ass. I've been talking to men and listening to your stories since 2003. Some of you make it, many of you don't. But what I will not allow this world to do is to misdirect the public on our stories. This is not about gay. This is not about straight. This is about the plight of the young black man trying to fight his way in life and find a way to make it. 50 Cent said, get rich or die trying. And we all are. My grandmother sat me down and said, you have to do this whether you pass or fail. So keep failure in your rear view. Because whether you pass or fail, you have to keep doing this. And I have to let you know, I failed a lot at this. COVID happened and my first business went out of business. I had to disillusion my company. Now see, business talk. Disillusion is different from bankrupt. I had to disillusion my first LLC. And then what happened during COVID? More people started patronizing my business. They started calling me for those one-on-one conversations. And I was able to take that money, start a new LLC, and keep it going. We are all just one paycheck away from broke. And you are too at your cushy job that you're judging the rest of the adult stars, OF stars, and escorts about. You are one paycheck away from nothingness. Why am I doing these videos lately? Because I'm preparing you. Because our private lives, all of us as black men, are about to spill onto the public stage. Mark my words. And what I will not do is allow anyone to judge you. I'm not going to tolerate it. There will be more of these videos because I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm going to tell them, okay, you're looking at the what, but do you know the why? And we're not going to talk about the young black men that have been taken advantage of. We're not going to talk about the young black men that I know that have been forced. We're not going to talk about that. That's a whole heap of another color. Whole different conversation. But these things that are happening, we need to discuss. So you're going to hear your dad's mouth. I'm dad. You're going to hear me. Because the world will try to make their own conclusions, draw their own conclusions, but not before I get them in line. Not before I challenge them to take a look at their own lives and what they're hiding and what they coulda, shoulda, woulda been doing. You're not going to judge my boys. You're not. Especially when many of you are paying them too. You paying them too. Don't play with me. You're subscribed to their OFs. You looking at their content. Hell, you hiring them to be escorts for you. Don't play with me. I know a lot. Don't play with me. We're not going to do that. That's what we're not going to do. Okay? That's what we're not going to do. And then you get to go ahead and be your public self and judge them. No, you're not. Not on my watch, because I will pull your card. I will pull your card. Because they're not playing by themselves. They're playing with you. And you know what's sad? The women folk, y'all have no idea. You have no idea how he paid the rent last month. You have no idea how he was able to get the diapers and the Pampers and the Similac. You have no idea how he was able to put brakes on your car because you needed them to get to work. You have no idea what that man went through to provide for you, who turn around and tell him it's not enough, who get on camera and say, this man took me to Fridays, this man took me to the Cheesecake Factory. Can you believe? What you not gonna do is defame my men. He didn't get you pregnant by yourself. You should have known your body. Where's the birth control? Condoms? Only condoms? That's it? You playing Russian roulette and it's his fault? He didn't put that baby in there by himself. The fuck? You was the one over there getting freaky, doing this, doing that. Oh, don't pull out. Oh, I know too much. I know too much. And then you want to, oh, you not doing your responsibilities. Bitch, what happened to your responsibilities before this happened? Where was your birth control? Where was your IUD? He didn't do this by himself, but he's a deadbeat. Okay. I have said enough for today. I'll do another one later. But understand that what we're not going to do is judge. When we find out things about our stars, DeAndre Cottrell, De'Aric Garnell, Julian Taylor, when we find out, Julian Morris, when we find out all these things that come out, or what they were into while they were living, and while DeAndre was living, and while they were working, and when all this stuff starts coming out, because this case is not done, what we not going to do on my watch is judge anybody. That's what we not going to do. We're not doing that, because then you're going to bring out the Lioness of Judah, and she ain't nice. She ain't nice. And then she going to call her sister Sekhmet. You ain't going to like us. You ain't going to like us. So just keep your mouth closed, learn the information, and move in silence. Move in silence. Because the moment you go to judge, I'm going to be there to defend what is mine. And all these babies are mine. They're mine. I'm daddy and mommy, being two-spirited. These babies, they're grown men, but they're my babies. They belong to me. And I'm going to make sure no one harms them.
Make sure that you follow the Queen of Shade on all social media platforms. Stay up to date with social media posts, podcast episodes, merchandise drops, and mentoring specials. Serious booking inquiries, use the email provided.
She wins.